Hi again, it's me. Those that don't know you, my name's John. My wife Carol's not with me at the moment. She's babysitting the grandkids. I'd like just to start off today by giving campers, motorhomes and caravan there's a warning. It's apparently the DVSA has said they are going to be out in force this summer. What they intend doing is checking caravans, motorhomes and campers for weight, and then checking to make sure they're roadworthy. Really it boils down to money grabbing. They know so many people now have bought motorhomes in campers second hand. They know a lot of people won't understand what the weight limits are and how to work it out. So it's a revenue grab. The other thing is that what surprised me, VOS, it's found in a survey of stopping vehicles that 80% of caravans and motorhomes were overloaded. So just be warned about that. I'd like now to talk about experiences we've had. This might help other people who's thinking of buying a camper for the first time. The first motorhome we brought from a gentleman in Shrewsbury. We went up there on the train and we checked the vehicle over. Everything looks fine. We took it along the A5 for a couple of miles and back. Ran smooth, no knocking, no nothing. So we paid the man the £6,000 he wanted and jumped in the camper and potted off home. We got about 25 miles away from Shrewsbury, just outside Oswestry, and the engine blew. Black smoke everywhere, so we managed to roll into the lay-by. I phoned a taxi and I went back to the house. When we got there, we knocked the door and got no response. We'd already tried ringing the gentleman on his mobile, but again, no response. All we got was voicemail. So after waiting around for about half hour, we knocked the doors of the neighbours and we found out that the gentleman that was there that morning was a relation to the owners. The owners had actually moved out and moved to Spain, and this relative would go once or twice a week to pick up mail, and it was him who had sold us the camper. So we had no way of contacting him because he said they hadn't got a logbook, it got lost, and so we had receipts and everything. He signed it. So we got caught. At the end of the day, it cost us just over £1,200 to get the engine rebuilt. So it was a bad experience with a private sale. The second one was our third motorhome. We decided that our Heimer was getting to 18 years old. That was the second motorhome we had, and we thought it was time to upgrade to a newer motorhome. The motorhome we looked at was a Peugeot, and it had less than 14,000 on the clock, a 2006 model. We thought it was great, the inside was beautiful, and we decided we wanted it. So we traded the Heimer in. We should have really thought then, because we got what we paid. It gave us 14 grand as a trade-in. Well, we paid the rest of the money up to £29,000. We jumped in it that summer, shot off to Spain for 3 months, and within the first week all the sides delaminated on the motorhome, so there was bubbles everywhere. On the third week we was there, we went round a bend and the tow bar bottomed on the road, and after that we noticed the bathroom door wouldn't shut properly and was slightly out of line. So when we got back, we went back to the dealership, and the gentleman just put his hands up. He says, I'm sorry if you come about guarantees or anything on the motorhome. We'd gone bankrupt. I've started up another garage, and as a limited company, all our debts and finances are all in the hands of the receivership. So we called trading standards, explained to trading standards what had happened, and they said the same. There's no way we could get the money back off them. If we took them to small claims court, we could only get up to £4,000 or £5,000, and then it's still no guarantee we'd actually get that money back. So their advice was see if they would pay half towards the cost of repairs. If no, then try our insurance company, and explain that we had bottomed it as well. So we went back to the dealership. He didn't want to know. He weren't prepared. We'd already got quotes that it was going to cost over £4,000 to repair all the sides of the camper and the roof. So we contacted the insurance company, and when they said they'd send a surveyor out, and the surveyor came out, and after his inspection he came into the house and gave us bad news. Apparently the vehicle chassis and cab was from a Peugeot builder's van that had been tail-ended, and the insurance company had written off. The back of the camper, the habitation area, was a Melody caravan, and the over cab bed was from a fostering day motorhome. So basically we'd been sold a pig in a poke. We decided that after the insurance company said they wouldn't pay anything out because they didn't think it was worth the value that we paid. So we paid the money to get it repaired. We spoke to a motorhome dealer that we had seen another motorhome, which was our last one, the Bursner, and explained everything to him, and he checked the vehicle over, and he said he'd give us £15,000. So as you can imagine, we've been upset because we'd lost a lot of money by this time. But we accepted it and we took the Bursner, and it's just to let you know that it doesn't matter who you buy from, that you can get caught, so be careful. Little things I would advise you to look for when you're buying a camper from a dealership or a private sale. First, get the AA or RAC to do an inspection. Also get them to do the vehicle check. This will let you know then if it's stolen, any HP on it, has the vehicle had any insurance work done on it, has it been a write-off, and so on. You'll get a report which will cover about 72 different items that they will look into. So that's my advice, is to do that. Secondly, when you go and look at it, find out if the cam belt was done. Ask them, if they say yes, ask them when it was done, and if they say, oh well, it's only 10 years old and or so, then tell them that you would take the kit if they get the cam belt done. Surprise to me was that in the owner's manual of most motorhomes and caravan campers, you'll get told that the cam belt will need changing after 50 to 90,000 miles. But then if you carry on reading in the small print, they advise getting it done after 5 years. So there you are. So if you've got a 10-year-old motorhome up for sale and the cam belt's not been done, it needs doing straight away. Secondly is look at the tyres. Tyres should be changed according to the manufacturers of all the leading brands within 5 to 6 years of having them fitted. So if you've got a 10-year motorhome that you're looking at and you've got nice Michelin tyres on, good tread, it means nothing. It's going to cost you to replace the tyres. So again, ask the buyer, if it's the seller, if they would take a drop for the cost of the tyres and the cam belt. If it's a dealer, ask him to change the cam belt and the tyres. You can only say no. So just be warned that it is dangerous out there, and you've got to watch what you buy, because if your tyres do happen to blow and the insurance company notices they're out of date, you know, over 5 years old, then your insurance could be void. So if you've had an accident, you might end up but not getting any money off the insurance company. So there you are. That's what I'd like to tell you about that piece. I'd like now to touch on a subject that both new and even some of the old motorhomers aren't aware of. That is the laden and unladen weight of your vehicle. So let's say we picked up a new or second-hand motorhome that weighs 3.5 ton. The unladen weight would be the total weight of the vehicle as it drives out through the factory where it was made. This would include the driver, the engine, the gearbox, fluid for both of those, one gas bottle, one leisure battery, maybe a hookup, electrical hookup, and sometimes a hose pipe. Also included in that, depending on the manufacturer. That is the thing we need to really understand. It depends on the manufacturer. Some will give you 90% fuel in with that weight and 90% of the total water in that weight. Others will give you a third to even 50% of a tank of fuel and as little as 25 litres of water. So as you can imagine, that doesn't leave a lot left out of the 3.5 ton. So let's say on average now, the weight of the vehicle unladen would be just over 3,100 kilograms, give or take a few kilograms each weight. So now you're down to around 400 kilos of storage space. Out of that, we need to look at something that the manufacturers aren't very generous with, is that the weight of the driver. According to most statistics in the UK now, they say the average weight of a person, be male, female, is around 60 kilos. Well, I'm sorry, 60 kilos is not really what I would say the average weight is. The average weight these days, I would say, is 70 kilos plus. So that then puts at least another 20 kilos to take off the weight of the wagon's payload. So then we come to passengers. Let's say a young family of 4. You've got one adult passenger and 2 children. That could be as much as maybe 130 kilos. So now we're down to 250 kilos. So as you can see, we're starting to whittle it down. Let's say then look at the extras that you have put on the motorhome. Let's say you have an automatic gearbox. An automatic gearbox is about 50% heavier than a manual gearbox, as a rule of thumb. That means also then, if you've got an automatic gearbox, that means your engine's going to have to be upgraded. This will put even more weight on, dependent on the engine. So now you've got a bike rack to put on. You've got a bike rack, possibly another leisure battery, another 13 kilo gas bottle. Now a 13 kilo gas bottle, believe it or not, is 25 kilos. A large leisure battery could be anything from 25 kilograms to 27.5 kilograms. So as you can see, the weight is coming down and coming down. So then we got, say, an awning. An awning could be 35 to 40 kilograms. So again, it's coming down. Now we may be down to just over 160, 170 kilograms left of space. So now we look at clothes. A family of 4 on average would be around 35 to 40 kilograms of clothing for a week. Then you've got shoes in trainers or Wellingtons, whichever, and then overcoats to add on to that again. On top of that, then we need to look at your pots and pans, your cutlery, cooking utensils and tableware. Before you know it, we now would be down to around 100 kilograms left. Now, say the family of 4 has 4 bicycles, that's about 60 kilos. On top of that, we need to then think about what else you're going to be putting in the vehicle. If you've got the low zero gravity chairs, they're about 9 kilos a piece. So if you've got 4 of those in, that's 40 kilos. You are now down roughly to your total weight and weight. Sorry. This is where it starts getting scary, because before you know it, you put your tables in, say a rubber dinghy for the kids, a solar panel even, in the fittings. You know, you're overweight already. So my advice would be to anyone that's just started, or anyone who's got a motorhome and not actually thought about the weight, would be to go to your local authorities. Most of those will have a weighbridge. If they haven't, then look for a local scrapyard. They are guaranteed to have one. Well, what you need to do there is get the front axle weight set first, and then the rear weight, then the whole weight of the vehicle. So you can work out then what the weight is over each of the chassis. But what I'd advise doing there would be, as the main driver, whoever the heaviest is in the vehicle, full tank of fuel, full tank of water, of course all the extras that you've had fitted, such as gearbox, automatic gearbox, awnings, bike rack and carpets, TV sets, everything else that you'd have basically in your vehicle. That will give you your own personal base weight for your vehicle. After you've got that weight, you can go home, bang the wife or the husband and the kids into the vehicle, put in everything that you think you're going to need, including food, the lot, then go back to the weighbridge. You can guarantee you're going to be over the limit by now. So you can then start working out what you can take out. Because you have a total weight of your vehicle, as you take stuff out, get a rough weight of those. The easiest way, like Karen and I do, is one of us stand on the scales and the other person hands us an item. So we know what the weights are as we're taking it out. So then you get down to under your gross weight. Because what you've got to remember is that not all the time you're going to have a place to empty your grey water and your toilets. Now your toilet waste is going to weigh quite a bit if you haven't emptied it for 2 or 3 days. If you're like Carol and I, we always carried a spare cassette, so you can be putting extra weight in that you don't think about there. So once you've got all that, then you know what you've got in your vehicle. Because to be honest, I'll touch next on fines. As I said, the government, or the DVSA, they're out at the moment and they're hitting people. They're looking out to catch people who are overloading. So okay, well, if you bear with me for a moment, I'll talk about fines in the UK and Europe if you are caught overweight. So bear with me for a moment, because I'm going to have to go and get the notes I've written down on that, because I can't remember them. Okay, for now. Well, I'm going to have to read the weights and the fines, because they're quite a lot. If you are pulled over by the what's the name of them again? DVSA? Yeah, DVSA, and you are weighed, and if you're overweight, then you need to understand what you're getting into. In Britain, if you're overweight, in the UK, if you're overloaded by 5 to 10% of the limit, will result in a £100 fine. If the vehicle is between 10 and 15% over the limit, you're talking a £200 fine. If you're 15 to 30% over the limit, it's a £300 fine. Over 30% results in a summons to court, and the fines could be up to £5,000. Now, those of us who go to Europe, I was shocked to realise that what the fines are there. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So if you're going over to Europe in your vehicle, let's go through what the fines are. Austria, there is no tolerance on the overweight. So you have to be dead on or under the weight limit. If you're over, you're talking of up to €5,000 fine. Belgium, if you're overweight by 2%, it's up to €330, and that has to be paid in cash by foreigners. So every percentage over, the fine can go up. There's no maximum. Denmark, if you're 1% over the limit, it's up to €750. If you exceed 5% overweight, the vehicle will be impounded. So be warned. Germany, which is one of the better ones out of there, 5% overweight is €10. 10, 30, 15, 35, 20% is €95. Over 30%, €235. So again, it's starting to go up. Italy, if you're over 5%, then you can be charged up to €1,700. The Netherlands, 10% overweight, you are €470. Sweden, 1% overweight, you're looking at €400. Switzerland, you have to be dead on or under the weight. You can be fined up to €170, and that increases with every 5% over that. So be warned, when you're loading up your camper, make sure you are covered, because I'll be honest, I believe more than once with my Burstner, when we've been in Europe, that was 5.5 ton, we must have been close to, if not just overweight. So stay safe, take care, enjoy all this nice weather we're having at the moment, and happy travelling to you all. Hope to see you in the next video. Hopefully Carol will be doing that one. She wants to talk about solar cooking, which is one of her passions while we're away. And if you don't mind, if you've enjoyed this, remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you know when any new uploads have been sent. Thumbs up, a nice like, and leave us a comment. Any comments we do. If you want to criticise me, if you want to give me advice on what I'm doing wrong, please feel free to do it, because I am still new and I am still very nervous of talking to a camera. So all the best for now, and catch you in the next video. Bye for now.